All right, so I thought this would be a good day, good warm day to do my garden update, my indoor garden update. Far northern California, April 23rd, I think, 22nd, 23rd. I think it's the 23rd. It's Sunday, and I just got done reading a couple comments about cloud seeding and stuff like that, and gardening. So I figured let me do my update of my garden, which I haven't done in a while, and to show you the view of my sky on today, which right now it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it should be pretty blue out there right now. I hadn't seen anything going on. Second floor apartment, 2 bedroom apartment. So I want to show you that you can do this indoors in an apartment if you don't have the space outside anywhere. You can get the shelves at Walmart online and the GE grow lights at Walmart online. I say Walmart online because it's the cheapest version. You can get the same exact company and everything at like Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever, but it's going to cost you a lot more on the lights especially. It's not that expensive. You're looking at like $50 to $70 per light depending on the sale or what they're going as. And then this is like about $55, $60, tax included and shipped. You can get it in white, chrome, or black. So it's like I said, it's April, going towards the end of April 2023. I started this indoor gardening November 2021, so 15 months now, and everything's going along pretty good. I didn't really research it or anything. I just started doing it. Now I've done a few herbs and stuff like that over the years, but this stuff is all new. And I like just doing it on my own, figuring it out. And if I have a question or anything, then I'll look it up. So what you're looking at here is strawberries. I started with 6 strawberry plants inside, 2 different kinds. I think I had 4 of one and 2 of another. And these 6 have turned out to be over 120 now. That's in 15 months. And you're going to see why. First, I'll show you, in case you're not familiar with strawberries. I wasn't. I just bought them and did them. Everything is non-GMO and organic, either a root, the strawberries came in root, or a plant, or mostly seeds. So here's some strawberries growing here. Oh, hold on one second. I don't want that to droop. Sometimes it breaks the little branch and then it won't grow. So mostly everything you see here are baby plants. And they baby and they baby and they baby. So if you're not familiar with strawberries, they call them a runner. I call them babies. They just baby out over there. And sometimes they get real interesting. So like here's 2. And it put a baby plant, which put another baby plant. And then on this vine itself, it kind of like in the middle of the vine, it put out a plant, which then put out another plant, which then put out another one over there. So I'm running out of room and spaces and everything, as you're going to see in the house. And then like I got more over here and everything. So like I said, 6 plants to 120 plus right now. And some of them are just starting to fruit. And like as you can see, this one's, well, you can't see because of the lighting. So that one puts out there, and then over here, this guy's putting out this. Sometimes they put out 3. Like this guy over here has 1, and then this guy over here is 2. And I cut the 3rd one just last week because it already produced berries. They don't produce like crazy, so this is a nice size strawberry. And it looks like we'll get at least 2 to 4 good ones on here. And that's what you're usually going to see, like 2 to 4 per, I call them branches, one of those branches that put out the berries. So that's what I got going on in this room here. And, you know, they're everywhere. As you can see, watch. Look at the train. So, like, baby to baby to baby to baby to baby. It's like, oh, my goodness. Thank God it's getting warm out now so I can put some of these on my balcony, which you're going to see. And then babies and then babies and then babies. Like, everywhere. But it's awesome, right? And just to show you what I look out at in far northern California, you people are doing your gardening and looking up at the skies and stuff like that. That's kind of what my view is. I want to be out of here, though. I want to get my own place. Okay, so in this room, it's a little interesting. So this was kind of an experiment. I just threw it in there under this lights. I had some plants and stuff here, so it wasn't growing that well, but we'll see if these cucumbers make it or not. Some red onion that are organic that I bought, and I cut the bottom, put the root in to see what would happen, and it's growing like these green onion-looking things. Whether you can eat that or not, I don't know, or it's going to turn into flowers and then make seeds, I think. So that would be cool. So here's an interesting room. So this plant, this tall, long, gangly tomato plant, is a new version of tomatoes. I don't know if it's grape tomato or Campari tomato. Sorry, sometimes my camera doesn't want to cooperate. So I bought tomatoes. This is the first time I bought from this company online. They're real tomatoes, organic, non-GMO. The grape tomato and the Campari. The Campari is just organic because that is already modified from a cherry tomato. So I don't know which one is this, but the grape tomato is non-GMO and organic. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because the tomatoes that I just explained, this one's a Roma tomato, and then those big peppers down here, these will be green, but I'll let them go red. So these will be big red bell peppers, and I have mini mini peppers that will be orange, yellow, and red as well. So the reason I'm telling you this is because between the three different tomatoes, grape, Campari, which is basically cherry tomato, and the Roma, I bought them as non-GMO and organic, or both or one or the other, and then I ate them and I seeded them, and then I just keep growing them and growing them. Now it's the first time for the Roma I've been doing. The other two are brand new, so obviously I don't think my tomato plant's supposed to be that tall, but I let it grow out just to see what will happen the first time, and I'll plant them again outdoors on my balcony and now. But what I noticed is a lot of the flowers were falling off. So see here, 2 tomatoes, but those were supposed to be flowers and they broke off. Really weird, they just broke off. So they say that it's because of not good pollination. Now my other tomatoes and everything, my peppers, nobody needs pollination. They just grow perfectly. So maybe with this tomato it needed pollination. But I do have 2 over there with the chance of a few more over here. Up top there's going to be a few more. I got a few more here, and these look like they're actually going to tomato. So that was a good experiment on that. And like I said, I'm going to have a ton of peppers down there. It's a little bit hard to see. And they were from the store too. Eat them and seed them, that's what I say. Eat them and seed them, organic and non-GMO. Over here, they're starting to, if you can see the tops, they're starting to flower. And that is red, what do they call them? Red potatoes? I think red new potatoes or something like that. They're about medium size, and they were organic potatoes. And they're only about 2 months old. And they look like they're flowering, and they're going to do well in there. So that's good. So this is all stuff you can do. The stuff that was on this shelf is outside right now because it's a beautiful day. And I get some sun over here. So this is wild mint that I picked from the mountain creeks. We get some wild mint. It's spearmint. It's a little bit odd because in the creeks it grows in one giant branch, like one stalk of wild mint about 5 feet tall. But when you pot them, they start growing like vines. And they grow like wildfire. And they're awesome because like you don't have to cut them and use them, cut them and use them. You could cut one, use it, and then put it in water and it grow roots right away, basically in less than a week. And then you could pot it again somewhere else and give it away. But as you can see, I have a few of them because one plant turned into 5 of these pots. So I'm going to plant some outside. Fresh mint from the mountain stream area. It grows by the mountain streams. Only in a certain place that I found. Can't get more organic and natural than that, right? Alright, so I just bought this 2 weeks ago, and this is in my kitchen. The others were bedrooms. This is kitchen because of the strawberries, and as you can see, I've been buying pots like crazy. Now I have to buy more because, as you see, babies everywhere. And even the babies are babying. So look at that guy. It's already got a baby, didn't even grow yet. And there's a whole bunch like that. And these are, like I said, the first room was the oldest, except for the floor. These are the newest. And as you can see, they just keep on growing and growing and growing. So it's really, really awesome. So once they get going, I see a berry over there. And I see some berrying here. This plant isn't even more than probably a month old. I took a couple berries off there. It's still berrying. Here's a mini bell pepper down there. There's some more of that mint. Some more of that mint. These are lilac bushes that I'm growing so I could eventually either put out here in my complex or bring them somewhere if I get out of here. Here is a, they call it a bonsai pomegranate. It's edible. They'll have miniature pomegranates. Alright, so before I show you, well, I'll show you that last. So over here, I just got finished with some cucumbers. Here's some that were lagging behind. I don't know if they'll do well or not because they kind of turned yellow. But I got some out here, so that was good. Here's some radishes growing. There. I like radishes because they grow like 30 days or less. And let me lower this a little bit. 30 days or less. And not only do you eat the radish, but you have the greens that are really awesome. And there's some lettuce that's going to grow in here. These are romaine lettuces. They'll probably be about almost a foot tall. They need to be up high when they're little, I learned, because if they don't get up high next to the light, they start growing like long and dangly. They'll look like that instead of growing like a lettuce. I do some cactus clippings too. I'll show you outside. So here was a unique plant on the strawberries. This strawberry put out five at one time. Most of them are still connected, and now that 5 has grown into, I don't know how many are here now, a lot. As you can see, all the roadways that I had to twist and bend a little bit. Here's another one that I got a pot, so that's cool. Some basil that can grow to like 3 feet tall. I just keep cutting it and eating it. Here's some peppers. I'll show you them. They're growing. Here's some cilantro. That's some oregano. Here's some celery. This is some Brussels sprouts getting going. This is some sage that I cut and eat a lot, and it grows back. I wasn't sure if sage would grow back. As you can see, it grew out the bottom, so it's growing out the bottom, but then it's also growing at the top where the leaves are cut. And then over here, you can see some peppers all in there growing. Now they'll turn to like yellow, orange, and red. So apparently, like when you eat a green pepper, it's not even really ripe, technically. You're eating a pepper that's not even ripe. And then this beautiful oregano. So, oh, here's another cactus. So any cactus clippings that you see, I'm going to show you the original plant. This is about a year old, and then I keep clipping them and clipping them. It's called the Zygos Christmas cactus. It's absolutely gorgeous when it blooms. It's just so, it's hard to explain if you've never seen one. I don't know how to explain it. It's a cross between like if you took like, I guess, one of those tulips, you know, a trumpet flower, and a orchid, and kind of split it open and it faces upwards. It's awesome. And then there's this thing. If anybody knows what this 7 to 8 foot tall thing is, let me know. I have no idea. It didn't grow anywhere else when I planted seeds inside or outside, but that's what it looks like. It's got to be at least 7.5 feet tall. And the other ones will grow with it. I think it's the same plant. There's two more of those things coming out of it. All right, so that's that. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see. I can't see because of the glare. So this is giant parsley. As you can see, the wind kind of knocks it down a little bit. It grows outside fabulous too. Maybe I'll take a walk down there and show you, because I didn't plant anything yet, but I'll show you what came up since this winter. So some are flowers. I won't explain the flowers and everything, but that's the food there. And then here's some more giant celery growing here. Again, it's hard to see. My tomato went down a little bit. I gotta fix that here. Let's see. That needs some more water in it too. So that's the other tomato I told you. It could be either the cherry or the Campari. I don't know what it is, but it's outside now because it's so beautiful. It will come in because California, it will be 70, 75 here, and then at night it'll be 40 at this time of the year. And that's it for the food. There's some more mint out there. This is social garlic. Been waiting for a couple of years. It hasn't regrown stems and flowers. It just keeps growing the what I call the leaves. And then here's the original cactus plant from about 6 years ago, and that's where I get the clippings from, and it stays healthy. It's been in that pot the whole time. And just some plants and stuff. I think that's it on the food out here. And that's the mountain ridge. I go out there and I get crystals and rocks, and I make some rock art. I'll show you that too, because I'll plant this video so you can get ideas and everything. So as you can see, you can't probably see it, but somewhere up there is a regular plane, guys. Look, it's a regular plane. It's not making any trail. Anyway, it's a pretty nice day out today. There's actually a real cloud, and it's pretty beautiful. Yesterday it was a mess. And there's some more potatoes. These are like yellow or golden potatoes, so I'll sprout them too and get them going as well. Potatoes are pretty easy to do indoors too. Alright, so real briefly, I'll show you some rock stuff. So I showed you that mountain ridge. So I go up in the mountains and I find stuff like this. I don't know if you can see how awesome that actually is. So this is crystal. This is one of the serpentine groups. I cut that and polish it with my saw. Here's something else, a little bit different. Find it up there as well. Here, I'm going to show you what this rock looked like, or crystal looked like before. And then there's this stuff here, this yellow stuff, quartz. Some more of that kind of serpentine type rock. Here's drainage ditch rock. I think it's epidote, found in a drainage ditch. I cut it down to size, and then I made my own Stonehenge out of it. Isn't that cool? So this is like when you go out in nature. A lot of people go out in nature and stuff, but they're not that aware. They don't understand anything like I did years ago. I just go out in nature and have fun. And now I'm like observing, and I see all this great stuff that's out there. And here is some obsidian, and I cut that down to obsidian. So yeah, you can find all this stuff. The obsidian I don't find here. I'm going to show you something. So here is more of that kind of serpentine stuff, just in a different coloration. Now when I say serpentine group, it just means that there's like subgroups of a mineral, different minerals they call serpentine, and there's all different kinds of names for this. I just use the serpentine group, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I cut it down, and to show you how beautiful it is up close, you see the greens and everything, and then look at when the light hits it. That's its true color, really, underneath, because inside the rock has the green in there and stuff like that. See it? So anyway, I learned to make rock art and stuff. It's easy to cut because it's not that. And here is it again. So I'm going to show you so you get excited. So this is the same stuff. See how beautiful that is? When it's tumbled, that's a cut and tumbled piece. And those are cut and polished. And I found it right out in those mountain ridges that I showed you. I'll show you kind of what it looks like before I cut them. Alright, so here's that green one again, and it's absolutely beautiful. Let me take you into the sun so you can truly, well, I guess you can see it here. See how beautiful that is? It's all like gem crystally stuff. That's what it looked like on the outside, a leathery turtle shell type stuff. I saw a little bit of crystal glaze on it, so I decided to take it home and cut it, and I was glad because that's what it looks like, and it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I'm doing this fast so you might not be able to see just how green and beautiful that is. But it is. So the next time you're out hiking or in nature and stuff, you never know what's out there. Alright, I can't tell if you can even see this. So let me move it over here. Alright, so I just showed you that serpentine stuff. So they're not always perfect looking like that. So you can see all this wonderful stuff. And then this is all crystally too. Just has some iron stains in it and stuff. Now watch the other side. Horrible. Just some crud. So I'll cut that down. I got a big saw that I use now. Well, I didn't use it yet, but I'm gonna cut this down to fit it under my little saw. And then this one here is gonna be awesome. Let's see if you can see it. This one is hard to see, but anyway, it's got lot of light yellow and light green in it. You might be able to see that. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this down. Okay, the noise you're gonna hear is a stellar jay that's up on my behind me now. It's flying onto my balcony because I put stuff out there for it to eat. So anyway, this is not, I didn't do this. This is what's left over from last year. And there's like rosemary over there. And then it's got to be weeded and everything first, and then, you know, replanted. But what I did is at the end of the fall, I wanted to see if I can grow lettuce, and it didn't grow in time by winter. But what's happening is it made it through the winter, and look at it. It's like, I don't know if this is called bib lettuce. I forget what I planted. I had a whole bunch of different ones. So their growth, they stopped growing, and then now the winter's over, they're growing like crazy. I don't know if you can see it because of my shadow. There you go. I think you can see it. So different lettuces are growing, and then anything else that's coming up is flowers. They're going to be flowers like lupin or lupine, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't remember the names. And then over here is some red lettuce and everything. And this section here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this big long section for tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and lettuces again. I might not do lettuce because it gets so hot so fast here that they don't do well. But this will be a whole bunch of flowers and a whole bunch of tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers, and maybe Brussels sprouts and eggplants. I love Brussels sprouts. So that will be this section. And then over here, I tried to grow some, I think, sage and rosemary, but it just didn't work. But something's in there again coming up, and then there's gonna be some flowers, and then some flowers over there. So if you live in an apartment complex like mine, you can do the indoor stuff or the balcony, and maybe they'll let you do this on the complex like they let me do it. See over here, I think these are sweet williams or something. I forget what they are. I don't even know if you can see them. They're growing up in there, and I put sunflowers and big sunflowers in all these places too. And there's just another spot that I'll do it. And then all through here will be flowers. This will just be flowers, flowers. All this will be flowers. I don't know if you can see that. All this will be flowers. And now I just want to show you what's coming up this year, and I didn't even get to it yet. So There'll be flowers and everything, but you see, okay, so this right here, that's parsley. I can't tell if you can see it or not. I think you can see it. So all this is parsley, and it grew to about 3 feet, 4 feet tall. And it just came, look how fresh and beautiful that is. So that will grow really huge. Then there's the lupine and stuff like that. That's what those guys are. And then some more flowers and stuff like that will be here. So yeah, some of the stuff came up already. And then over here, it's just gonna be flowers again. I think they're violas, wildflowers, lupine coming up over there. And again, it's a little trashy here because people threw down some rocks that they didn't want anymore, and I'll have to go and redo that. So don't, I know it looks like a disaster area here, because she moved down and she threw her rocks down. I'll have to clean this all up and I'll redo this. I did the brickwork. I bought the bricks and did all the brickwork that you saw. And I do all the rocks. Matter of fact, some of these I'm going to cut now that I got a bigger saw. I outlined those with rocks, and the other side that you saw first, I bought all those bricks and laid those down. All right, so I'll show you the what I did out here, but first I want to show you our mountain view. Right there. Got a ton of snow on it this year. I've never seen this much snow, and a lot of it melted because we had really warm weather the past week. Although if you go up halfway, it will be about 10 degrees cooler, and if you went all the way up there, you know, obviously if it's 70 to 75 now here, it's probably 40 degrees up there, but it's still enough to melt. When that stuff gets going in the next week or two, it's going to be like a river flowing down there. So this is just my entryway. So there's another one over there. I won't take you over there, but there's another one over there. And it was mostly wildflowers and marigolds and then big sunflowers to make it look nice coming in. I see some people messing around and stepping on these bricks and everything. Anyway, so this is what it would look like standing here. All right, pretty picture, right? So you see this right here? I said drainage ditch rock. It's got that beautiful color and stuff to it, the peach and the green. Let me show you again what I did. It wasn't this big, it was a little bit smaller than this guy here. It doesn't look like anything because the sun's not shining on it, but it's got all the crystally sparkles. I'm going to show you that rock again. So that's this one here. So if you stayed to watch the whole video, hopefully you learned about indoor farming and gardening and seeing how easy it is. Going out in the woods, going up, finding rocks and crystals. You might not find stuff like I find, but you might find stuff that is worth tumbling or cutting. I'm trying to get this camera to focus so you can see just how awesome this is. Sometimes my camera just doesn't focus all that great. Anyway, it's beautiful quartz and green. I think it's called epidote. And that one there. Again, it's on the camera, it's not showing you the shine. They are all cut and tumbled. That one is cut and polished. And you can see how cool that is. And you can just, you know, it's like a craft. I call it rock art. It's pretty awesome. And here's another example. Some of them didn't cut and polish well. I wasn't good at it in the beginning, so they go in the fish tank. And some of them just look better in water than they do. I don't have any fish because I don't want any yuck. It's hard to see this one, but they're called bachuardio. It's quartz chalcedony, and they're made of tiny, tiny bubbles of crystal bubbles. And there's just all kinds of cool stuff that I found. Tiger's eye, that serpentine rock, that cool awesomeness right there. This cool awesomeness right here. This agate, I cut that. That rock is awesome. I call it my Vincent van Gogh rock. So the reason I'm showing you this is because there's so many things to do with rocks and crystals. You can display them raw or rough, how you find them. You can do put them in water, fish tanks. You can cut and polish them. You can tumble them. You can cut and tumble them. This is hard to show you, but that's this beautiful green. And then here's that bubbly rock. You can kind of see the bubbles within the bubbles within the bubbles. And maybe here. So I find these when I go out walking and hiking and everything, and it just really cool. So you can do a lot of different things with them. Once I get things straightened out and reorganized, I'm going to make a video of all my crystals and display so people could see it. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I showed you the mountain and some indoor farming and gardening. And remember, whether you have a garage, let me show you, see if I can get a better view here. A garage, a basement, indoor porch, your bedrooms, this is in my kitchen next to my refrigerator. You can do this stuff indoors, and you can learn how to grow your own food and everything and all that. And if you're out in nature, keep an eye on rocks and crystals, especially if you're at a creek or a dry creek bed or something. The more chance you can find really cool rocks and crystals and tumble them. If they're dry, just spray them or put them in the water, and you'll see what their potential could be when you tumble them or you cut them and polish them. So there, you got gardening, non-GMO, organic, right in an apartment, beautiful view, mountains, hiking, rocks, crystals, all kinds of stuff. Any advice, let me know. Any questions, just write it down. And yeah, just learn to do cool things. Be closer to nature. All right? Lots of love to you. I think that's all I wanted to say. And again, I'm not a pro at any of this. I never used the saw. I never did the planting. I never did my own crystal finding or cutting or anything. I just went out and did it. I used tools in my life and stuff like that, so it wasn't like I didn't know how to do stuff. And I mean, planting is just planting. You just go along with it. You experiment and you experience it, and then you do what you can do. And that's it. And like that fish tank I showed you, I got 3 others in the house in each room, and it just makes the house look so beautiful. That one you couldn't really see because the lighting wasn't really that bright in there. But I got some really beautiful ones, and I'll make a video of all that. All right, so if you manage to make it through, I even used some of my tumbled rocks to hold down these babies. Check this one out. This one is so beautiful. It's hard to see because of the way the light's beaming off of it, but it's like this bronzy, gold, bronze, and red. It's really awesome. Here's another one. It's got like spots and everything on it. So yeah, just trial and error, and hope you learn some things. All right, lots of love to you. Bye bye.